I've never found a love like this. There it is. I've never found a love like this.
Hello everyone, welcome back to E20 Zone TV. Affers has joined us on the quiet, but Affers is here. I wait for him to sort himself out. Affers is snuck in at the death. To my right, top right, is Lucas. Bottom right is Mitchell. You know who he is, like the man who hates people's tweets, so to speak. And then Affers is at the bottom.
We need a hate
you're
option.
just. What do you mean? You are as well, mate. You are just as bad.
The fingers out.
These days.
100%, mate. Honestly, I'll get air done on Twitter in a minute. I'll start off with you, Lucas, yeah? We're going to start off with Onana first, then Cornet, and then we'll move on to the Premier League, yeah? Onana, not happening now. I done a video yesterday, done quite well. And then what do I know? He's not signing. Lucas, take it away.
Oh, no. What's my name? Oh, no. What's my name? Fuck him. We don't need him. Psych, we do. I still do rate him, but I mean, there's more news that's coming out that there's like a bunch of little tidbit news, like his sister's his agent, his agency's small, so they're trying to get the most money possible. Like he's asking for $100K a week, which, I mean, if we break all these things down, the $100K a week, that doesn't really bother me that much because that doesn't necessarily disrupt our wage structure, but he would make more than some players that kind of would play more than him. But we need midfield depth really bad. But in the whole Everton news, I firmly believe that's it could be a money ploy, could be a tactic. I'm not sure, but if he genuinely thinks Everton is a better option for him, he needs to be instituted into a hospital for a mental check immediately. Because it's just not good. I'm concerned for him. But yeah, I mean, I would love to have him even on $100K a week, but I don't know. I'm quite embarrassed that he'd potentially want to pick Everton over us.
Yeah, it is embarrassing. Tom.
I am here. I accidentally clicked the link and then I felt bad because I was just in bed. But I can come on webcam in a second if you give me like 2 minutes. So if you go
come on now, mate. Doesn't matter if you're in bed before we out. Doesn't matter.
Right, look, hang on. Look, I'm here. So give me 2 minutes and I'll.
No worries. Yeah,
I'll stay here on the mic and I can give you my opinion.
No worries, Tom. Mitch. Mitch and Corey just gets on well at the minute. You know what I mean? Naked Martin and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking hell, I've got a problem. I was sending fucking pictures to Lucas last night as well.
Talk to me about Onana, Mitch. Yeah, please go.
This Patreon update like 20 minutes ago said that it's basically completely done now as well. Completely ruled it out. Said that probably going to stop talks now. It's a massive shame. I'll be furious if he joins. Who's this? This just joined. I'll be furious. His picture ain't there. I'll be furious if he goes Everton.
Yeah.
I'm not too bothered as long as we get a replacement in. My mindset in the last few days has really changed. I don't know why. I'm feeling a lot more positive, a lot calmer about the transfer window now. We do need a left back at the club. But I think we'll sign him, and I'm quite confident now. I think now that we signed Cornet, well, not guarantee, but we basically signed him. Obviously, we'll talk about him more in a bit. But I'm feeling a lot more positive about everything now, and I'm confident we'll sign a midfielder because the business is being done. 3 weeks left. I just think we need left back more than anything. And Shalai, did you see the update as well about Shalai?
I called it.
20 minutes ago, he said that X said that we're going to probably put an offer in for him.
Fair play, James Snedden. Fair play,
James Snedden. Up the fucking Snedden. Toast to you.
Mate,
to you.
James,
fuck off. James Snedden again.
100%, mate. I called it the other day on Twitter and I got 18 and 19-year-olds saying to me, I don't know what I'm talking about. I said, trust me, this is a West Ham signing written all over it.
You said that after fucking Snedden put it in the group chat.
Yeah, but Snedden's got sense, mate. And I went with him. I'm not going to lie. He was
big up the Mendem and the Geldem.
He was talking fact. Is that what I'm saying? So, Mitch, Onana, yes or no?
Lucas, you're quite led.
Are you not going to be missed? Is he going to
Oh
be
yeah,
missed?
it's only a miss, but I'm feeling positive. Like I had a bit of a meltdown last night, a little bit, but I was keeping myself a bit calm. I was trying to be positive. Like Cornet's coming in, looks like we're putting offers in for other players. We're now linked with James Justin as our left back option, which I think is fucking brilliant. So I'm feeling.
Mitch, X accidentally put James Justin. He meant Luke Thomas.
He's covering the mic up. Right, I'll get it on to Tom there. Tom, Onana's a no-no. What do you think?
Say it, Tom. Oh, no.
Onana's a no. Yeah, no, it's whatever. It doesn't bother me too much. Yeah, it would have been a good signing, but we could. There's other targets there. I think asking for $100,000 a week when you probably don't deserve that amount of money is probably a little bit taking the piss. I can't lie. I mean, as you guys were discussing the other day, how many starts did he have last year? 11, yeah. For potential, I mean, if you 40-50 grand a week maybe for something like that, and then incentives and sort of performance based if you can get your wage up like that over the next couple of years. But I don't even think he'll go to Everton because genuinely they can't afford him because of the financial fair play stuff they have going on at the moment. They couldn't even potentially afford Cornet or Brozier when they were linked with them and stuff. So I don't know why they're trying to sort of use Everton as trying to get more money out of us because it's not going to work anyway because Everton can't afford it. So yeah, it's just a very, very, very strange one last night. But fuck his agents, just always agents ruining stuff. So there we go.
Us and agents just don't get on.
No, just stick to Will Salthouse and you'll get a medical done within a day. That's just the best solution.
Who is before I get to West Ham London, who is Cornet's agent?
Will Salthouse.
Yeah. Oh my god, 100%. West Ham Online. Onana is a no-no. What are you saying?
Well, I sort of said my thoughts last night regarding Onana. I'm a huge fan of his. I even put him in my the lineup that I wanted for next season, like before we were even linked to him on Twitter. But at the same time, I agree with Athers. 40 million as a total package, possibly more, for a player who in his whole career has only had 19 starts, I believe, is a bit of a joke. He's 20 years old. He needs to pipe down a little bit. Do I think Everton will pay it? Yes. Reason why is because I think that the difference with this and the release clause is that the release clause for Cornet, for example, had to be paid up front. Whereas with Dwight McNeil, who was more expensive than Cornet, which is laughable, that was paid in instalments. And apparently, what's they called? Lille are going to accept instalments for Onana as well. So I think they'll get him over the line. Everton's transfer business has always been pathetic. So I have no doubt that they won't have a clue how to negotiate this deal. And they won't mind paying 40 million for a midfielder that they don't really need because they've already got, well, if they're getting Idrissa Gueye in, they've got Allen and Decore. The rest of their team is terrible, so I don't know what they're doing, focusing too much on the midfield.
Listen, if he does go there, we'll just get Onana next year when they get relegated. We'll just do that instead.
Yeah, we'll do that. But Cornet is a brilliant signing. We all wanted him on the spaces and on here. We've wanted him for ages. 17 million, no doubt about it. Brilliant deal. He offers versatility. He can play up front, right wing, left wing back, maybe even left back. So he's very, very versatile. And for that cheaper fee, I think he's a great signing. And yeah, now we just need to get a centre mid. And I think Koku could be the one who Mitch has been raving about. So credit to Mitch. Finally, before you move on, I'd like to say I was also disappointed last night. When I saw James Justin, I was so happy because he's so good.
Oh my goodness.
Woke up this morning to find out that X actually meant Luke Thomas, who is one of the worst left backs in the league.
Well, we won't go through all that at the minute. We're going to talk a bit about Cornet. We've done the Onana. We're going to go Cornet. For me, great signing. I don't think he's a left back. I don't think he's a left wing back. I think he's here to replace Ben Rama. If I'm being honest. That's what I believe. I believe he comes in. I think
he replaces Masuaku.
I don't know. Not yet. I think
he replaces Masuaku, but he can also play left wing as well, and I think he will play left wing. But in terms of the squad position and role, I think he replaces Masu.
Yeah,
Moyes never played Masuaku in the left back position.
Do you think we'll play him as a wing back?
I think it gives us more options, and so that they can play Ben Rama as a 10 rather than out wide. I think. Yeah. I think he's got express pace. Like, he's obviously very, very, very quick. And as I said the other day, when he get 9 goals last year, he's not going to want to, give that up after probably the best goal scoring season of his career. He'll want to stay further forward. I mean, he even played as striker, didn't he, a couple of times last year for Burnley? So
he can replace Bowen on the right, though, can't he? Though, so
back him up.
He can,
he could, but I wouldn't want that. I'd want, because we'd lack severely pace sometimes in our team going forward, and if we can have that, as he's a skillful player as well. So if that allows Ben Rama to play maybe a little bit more naturally as a 10, and even still, I'd love to see Fornals as a 10, because again, I think even though he's can sometimes impact a game when he's out wide and his defensive ability is a little bit better than maybe some of the other players that can play down the left, I still would love to see him as a 10, just to see if his passing is as good and can help it. I just feel like he's more suited to being a 10 than he is playing out wide, put it that way. Maybe in La Liga, where it's a little bit slower for him or something, that he was able to have a little bit more success. But I don't know. I feel like he's been playing in the wrong position for the last 2 years. Do you know what I mean? I see him as more naturally a 10. But yeah, I think it'll be... I think he'll play him as a left winger and allow those two to be as a 10, because then otherwise there's obviously still the rumours going around that he wants a number 10 still. But I don't understand that, because then we've still got multiple players, including Vlasic, etc., that can still play in that position as well. So I don't know what his thinking is going to be behind it, but I hope he plays him as a left winger and then actually still spend some money on a left back. But anyway. So
it's all thumbs up for Cornet here then, yeah?
Yeah, like Alfie said, he fills many positions, and I think most importantly, he fills
many holes.
Yes, he does, and he can back up as well, which is important. Depth in many positions. What a man!
Mitch, are you happy with this signing?
Fills them in with depth.
Very happy. I've wanted him for quite a while now. When Burnley went down, I said, get Cornet in. Covers so many positions. He's got a good Moyes work rate that he's looking for. He's pacey, which obviously I've been saying for ages. We've lacked pace going forward. And he's a goal threat. And I don't think we've got a proper goal threat at the club besides from Bowen in terms of technical shooting ability. Antonio gets himself in good positions and bullies people about. I think he hasn't got the greatest technical ability in terms of shooting. Ben Rama's so hit and miss. Fornals has got one of the worst shots on him at the fucking club. He's absolutely shocking at shooting. And that's it. No one else really. I think Cornet is much needed because he can fucking hit a ball. Like Bowen can as well. Bowen's a bit more fun. What's that?
I just want him in because he can fucking hit a ball.
So I said.
Yeah, because he can hit a ball.
He can fucking hit a ball.
He can, and like fucking Ben Rama and Fornals like diddly dally about it all the time. And
you and the hand puppets. What's all that?
What's that from? It's from I think Grown Ups were saying. He's got the little hair on his chin.
Yeah, someone tell me where that's from. Do you know what I mean?
I think it is from just Schneider.
Oh, Rob Schneider. He's
yeah, he's
100%.
Schneider's brilliant.
And one thing I have to say this. I have to clear this up. The whole injury thing with Cornet is an absolute myth, and I don't know where it has come from, because I have it pulled up now. The longest he's ever been out in his career for an injury is 17 days. 17 and recently, his recent injury is 13 days.
They may know something that we don't know.
Why did he only play 19 games worth of minutes last year then? I don't... Is there a reason
they went with
for
Chris
that?
Wood, didn't they? No,
when he was available, he played. Cornet played when he was available, but I don't get it. No, I don't...
Didn't he have AFCON last year?
Oh, yeah, he did have AFCON. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And I think they went nearly all the way, to be
They may know
Well-
something that we don't know. They may know that he's had knee problems or something in the past, and they've
They
had to
must not
manage it by
know.
taking
I
him
know
off.
everything.
Fix it. Do you know what I mean? He's been taken off quite a bit. I've noticed last season, and I didn't watch Burnley enough to know if it was performance based, which I'm guessing it's not. My prediction would be maybe he does have an injury niggly problem.
They tried to
Which could
change
be-
it up quite a lot, though.
I was going to say they've got quite. They had quite a few players. Like they had obviously Weghorst, Barnes,
Wickles is
McNeil.
so shit.
Yeah, but surely you
Vidra,
wouldn't want to.
Goodmanson,
You wouldn't want to take your best
Cornet.
player off, surely.
If he's
Right,
got
we
an injury problem, a niggly problem, then possibly. So we might not know something that Moyes and that do.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But at the same time, the way I would set Courtney up at the start of games, for me, he starts 100% without a shadow of doubt. I'd play Bowen and Courtney as two very tight inside forwards, and then Skamaka in the centre. And I think that would suit Skamaka really well. It'd suit Bowen really well. I think Courtney would do well because he's got he can hit a ball. And he can hit a ball, and he's got pace in behind, so I think that'd be a very threatening front three. And then I'm
But
thinking
interestingly,
midfield behind
Karen
him.
Hugh, as much as you want to believe him or not, reckon that Skamaka's not taking any part in Sunday's game.
Well, they also
Any
said,
part of-
they also
Yeah,
said
they're
Aguerd
chatting
is going to
rubbish.
be in the team on Sunday.
They're chatting
Well,
rubbish.
if he's
I
not
don't
in
believe
any
that.
part, then I'll be quite shocked. But
It said
let's
again would be
move.
fit for City.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on now to the Premier League. Right, Premier League is back. Right, we're all here, and tomorrow I'll go through the games, and then I want you to tell me what your final 20 is going to be. So, just give us a quick lowdown of these. Right, first of all, Palace versus Arsenal. Now, Arsenal have signed some good players this window, but I do feel this is a game. If Arsenal don't perform here, then I don't think Arsenal have really changed, if I'm being honest. I'm going to start off with West Ham online and work my way back to me. So give me your prediction for that.
If I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm very confident. I think they've definitely
You are an
changed.
Arsenal fan, aren't you?
Yeah, that's my backup team. Yeah, I think they've definitely changed. They've got two of the best strikers in the league. Great manager. I won't go on about the guy in midfield, but overall, quality-wise, they've got a good midfield. And if I'm Arsenal, I'm confident in this game. I reckon they walk the game. Struggle in the first half a little bit. Second half, I reckon they walk it as soon as Eddie comes on. 3-1 to Arsenal, 2 goals for Eddie.
Right. Tom?
I think they lose. I think they lose. I think they lose. Last year they had a shocking start, didn't they? I can't wait to watch the Arsenal documentary actually for their first few games of the
Me
season because
too.
they were god awful. Yeah, they've had a decent-ish pre-season, but I don't know. It's just something about Palace that I think they'll be a lot tougher to play this year as well. I mean, they were a lot tougher to play. It felt like last year against Vieira at times. I know we did walk the park with them at least once, but I don't know. I don't necessarily think that Arsenal are going to do as well as maybe what people think this year. I know they've made some decent signings, but I'm not.
I'm shaking my head, Tom.
I know. I'm sorry.
I agree with Alfie. I'm really sorry. I think Palace are going to have a poor season. I think a lot of people think. I think the youngsters are really going to struggle. They've got a very young squad. I think they'll
Wait,
really
you said
struggle.
you're going to agree with Alfie. Did you just call me Alfie, you bastard?
No, I do agree. No, I do agree with Alfie in the fact that I'm shaking my head.
Oh, right.
I agree with Tom, but Tom,
Yeah,
what's your,
I think Arsenal. He's gone.
No,
Go to me now.
now go on, Tom. Give us your prediction. What you think?
I think. Well, I said lose. I reckon it'll either be 2-1 Palace or I reckon it'll be 2-2. Yes, they've made some very good signings, but I just don't know. Sometimes I haven't obviously seen enough of them in pre-season. I'll obviously watch the game tomorrow to see it, but whether or not all those pieces click in the big games, and if I was an Arsenal fan, yes, you probably would be excited. You've signed a brilliant striker. He's a top scorer in pre-season, I think, in like the Premier League in terms of teams and stuff. So on paper, it should do well. But again, they could end up starting the year like they did last year. And, within 2-3 weeks, Arsenal Fan TV is back and, everybody's scared shitless. So I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced yet on Arsenal. It remains to be seen for me.
Yeah,
anyway.
I agree. Mitch.
Let's go quickly address Adam Milsh's question just quickly. I think we'll sign after Cornet. I think 3 more players. I think we'll sign after Cornet. I'm quite optimistic. We've got loans to make as well. We've still got domestic loans, and Moyes loves a loan. So yeah, I'm quite confident. I think Arsenal straight up win 3-1 or 3-2. If I had to pick one score, I'd say probably 3-1. I think now, thinking about it. Yeah, I just think Arsenal did look good in pre-season. I do think the confidence will carry over. They're a young squad, and I think momentum is going to be the biggest factor for them this season. If they can keep the momentum going, and try and do okay against the big sides and not be knocked down too much in terms of confidence, I think they're going to have a very good season. Yeah, I think it will be quite an easy game for Arsenal, but I think Palace will nick a goal, or maybe
Fair
2.
enough. Lucas.
With Arsenal, it's just one of those. We're just gonna have to sit back and watch whatever happens unravel. They're like a cinema type club where you just grab your popcorn, sit back, and see what happens. But for tomorrow, I think Arsenal 2-0. I think I don't know, Crystal Palace to me, I think they're gonna have a very. I'm not comparing them, but I'm comparing the statistics. I think Crystal Palace is going to have a very like Man United-esque year where their goal differential is just going to always be around 0. They're going to lose, in my opinion, a lot of 1-0 and 2-0 games because I just don't know where their goals are going to come from. They don't really have a bagsman, in my opinion. But they do have a lot of good young players on the ball that can make things happen. They just don't have a bagsman, and I think that's really going to
That's sort of what I was trying to say. Like, there's just a lot of young players that whether or not they can all gel, a lot of them as well, I would say, have a bigger ego potentially playing with. It's just I'm just skeptical as to whether they can all gel together as a team. Especially with Arsenal teams in the past sort of few years, it just something always goes wrong. I don't know, like as Stephen A would say, Lucas will get me on this one. What with the Dallas Cowboys? What can go wrong will go wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I hear what you're saying.
I'm going 2-0. 2-0 Arsenal.
2-0 Arsenal from Lucas. I'm gonna agree with Tom 100% on this. I'm not convinced on Arsenal at the minute. I really ain't. I think they're relying heavily on Jesus. And if Jesus doesn't perform, then Arsenal are just the same Arsenal again.
What about Eddie? What about Eddie?
I think Eddie's a good player, but I don't think. Would Arsenal have improved from last year with Eddie as their striker? I don't believe they would do. I think that's why Jesus is there and he's their number one man. Now, I agree. If they go to Palace tomorrow night and they win comfortably, I will stand up and go, yeah, Arsenal are looking the real deal this year. Do you know what I mean? If they struggle against Palace again tomorrow night, which is a game where if you really want to compete in the top 4, you've got to be going to Palace and winning, then, yeah, I will say this Arsenal team hasn't really changed. They've just upgraded a few players. Do you know what I'm saying? So I am going to say a draw tomorrow night. I think Arsenal will get something there. I think Palace will be up for it. They always are against Arsenal, and they've got a good record.
It'll be a good game.
It will be. I think it will be a good game.
Can I make an early prediction, James?
Quickly, go on then.
Eddie Nketiah to get 14 goals plus. Arsenal to get 80 points plus.
Well,
80?
Yeah.
80?
Yeah.
Jesus.
He's a fan of the Arsenal. Listen, you lads do know we've got 9 other games to go through, so I'm just letting you know that. Yeah. So the next one is this. Fulham versus Liverpool. Right, I'll start off with this one. I think it's a Liverpool win.
I think it's going to be. Yeah.
This is a Liverpool win written all over it. I'm going to say Liverpool to keep a clean sheet, so I'm going to say a 3-0 win. I think Fulham will just be destroyed in night by Núñez. I think Núñez will start tomorrow. Saturday, sorry. So 3-0 for me. Lucas?
Yeah, I'll be throwing some money on this for Liverpool to win 0. So, yeah, 3-0.
Mitch?
4-1 Liverpool.
Who scores the goals, Mitria?
Depends on the starting 11. If Nunes starts, I think he'll grab one. I think Salah will score 2, and then maybe I don't know, a penalty. Who takes a penalty? Salah.
Yeah.
So maybe not Salah. Salah 2, and then maybe like a header from Van Dijk. The defense is pretty poor, so I reckon like Van Dijk header or Matip header.
Tom?
4-0 Liverpool. It's just, for me. I think they'll start with the same team they did in the Community Shield the other day, and Nunez off the bench, who looked really, really, really lively when he came off the bench. I was actually quite impressed with him, especially after he'd been sort of like slated as much as he had been in pre-season by all the rival fans. But yeah, I can't see anything past like a 3 or 4-0 win for Liverpool.
Before I move on to West Ham Online quickly, William and me are doing a special. Liverpool to win against Fulham, £10 max bet, even money. So £10 gets you a free £10 bet. So if you like William Hill, get on that.
I will say I do definitely think Fulham are going to score a goal though, 100% at their own ground. Start out the season to make a statement. I do think they will score a goal. They've got good attack. Fulham, they're good going forward.
They certainly have.
They're getting relegated.
Well, I don't know why I've got 2 West Ham Onlines, but let's try it.
What the fuck?
Because I disconnected, so I've rejoined.
Rejoined, and you're joined now. Give me your quick prediction for Fulham Liverpool. West Ham Online.
Sorry, by the way, my Wi-Fi's horrendous, but 3-0 Liverpool. Fulham's defence is like Stevie Wonder in a beehive. Absolutely clueless. It'll be rampant.
Stevie Wonder in a beehive.
It gets better, mate. Honestly,
I've never heard that.
100%. Next game up, is this one: Bournemouth versus Aston Villa. I think this is going to be a really good game. I think there's goals galore in this one all day long. I'm going to start off with West Ham Online. Give me your quick prediction on this one, mate.
I don't rate Bournemouth. I think they're terrible. Villa, I'm not a big fan of either, but I think Villa to win 1-0. I think it'll be a tight game. Bournemouth are a family club with a tin pot fan base, so the atmosphere won't be that intimidating. And I think Aston Villa will take the edge.
Tom?
I'm going to go with Bournemouth. I've seen a few people that haven't exactly been impressed with Villa in pre-season. Again, a lot of new pieces that they're going to maybe try and look to bed in. They could score a lot of goals, but apparently Ings and Watkins have looked quite bad in pre-season. And actually that Archer kid has been maybe one of their better players. So I don't know. I'm not sold yet on Villa. So I'm gonna go with Bournemouth. I like Bournemouth when they were back in the Prem last time, and I'm glad that they're back up this time. I know you may say they're a tin pot fan base and all that. I don't mind them. And I think they've got obviously a fantastic manager in Scotty Parker. So I'm gonna say 2-1 Bournemouth.
You are senile.
I think 1-0. I think 1-0, close game. I think Bournemouth get the opening goal and Villa will score very late equaliser. Just to agree with what Alfie's saying, I think Bournemouth are a tin pot club. I was really upset that they got promoted again because they're just fucking tin pot. The fans that come to our ground, they don't even sell out. Some of them even sit down. And also, it's really hard to get tickets for the away day. I've only been there once, and it's just they were windbreads basically. And I saw like fucking. I saw someone fingering one of their mums outside the stadium once, which was disgusting. And also their fan base is just awful.
You've just said it, Mitch. I think you've said enough, bro.
All right, sorry, mate.
Before I get shut down.
The thing is, all the clubs cut from the Championship with a decent fan base, decent stadium.
Yeah.
Bournemouth is not the one I want to come up, and really hope they get relegated next season. I hope Burnley come back up.
Fair
and
enough.
They keep their fingers off each other.
Lucas.
It's impossible for them.
Lucas.
I'll keep it short and sweet. Bournemouth are shit, Aston Villa has something to prove this season, and I think they'll finally, after spending another 100
10
million,
billion.
I think they'll finally be worth something to the Premier League. I'm going to go 2-0.
2-0. I don't know who said a draw. I think it was Mitchell who said 1-0. I'm with him on this one. I think it's got a draw written all over this game. I do think Bournemouth will be up for it. I'm not going to be as critical as Mitchell.
Who's going to score for that club?
I don't know. They always play well in the Prem. Like when they was up in the Prem before, they always scored goals, especially at home.
Different manager, different squad.
Scott Parker. I'm going to have to disagree. Sorry, with Tom. Sorry, Tom, but I think Scott Parker's useless.
Well, we'll leave that for another day.
I think Harry
but I'm going to
Cornet is better than Dominic Solanke.
Well, this game's interesting. This one, right now, I've been in a few spaces with Leeds fans, and they're quite optimistic this year. So I might as well start off with the man who lives in Leeds. You know what I mean? So, Tom, what do you think on this?
Yeah, I think Leeds will win. I think people are going to be a bit surprised by Leeds this year.
Yeah.
I think actually they've done some really good business. I just actually talking to my dad about it earlier. I absolutely love Rasmus Christensen, the geezer from Salzburg that they signed. I think he is going to be a fan favourite from day one. I think he's an absolute bastard, and I think he's good assist numbers. They've got another new wing back, haven't they, as well? Obviously, Stuart Dallas is out for a while, so
They've got was it Tyler Adams? Is it? And,
yeah.
Who's the other guy? The American.
Tyler Adams, Brendan Harrison, Jesse Marsh, the American
they got
way.
Sinistera as well.
The American dream.
Sinistera. He's a decent player, Sinistera.
So I think they've done some good business, and I think Wolves have had an absolute shitter. The only positive for Wolves this season is that Neto's looked on good form. I know he's in my fantasy team from day one. But other than that, they've lost quite a few players, and they haven't signed anyone either. So I think Wolves are going to be in trouble. I think Wolves are like Leicester. I think are going to be the surprise sort of maybe bottom 5-6 teams this season. So yeah, I'm gonna go Leeds a 3-1 home win. I'm fully on the Leeds train this year, as I am every year.
Alfie?
Yeah. Leeds Wolves, I think it'll be a very good game. I think I agree with Athers. I think Leeds have had some good incomings in terms of the players they bought. I think Rocker's a good player, very good passing range. I like Tyler Adams. I like his engine. Sinistera, obviously he's from the Dutch league and he was a very good player out there, but it's going to be hard to translate. Same for the attacking midfielder they bought in, Brendan Aronson, I think his name is. I've never watched him, but I've heard bright things, but he just has flop screaming all over him, in my opinion. I think Wolves are being written off a little bit too unfairly, personally. I think Gibbs White has gone up another level last year at Sheffield United, and unless Nottingham Forest, Dirty Forest, sign him, which I don't think they will, I think he's going to be a big player for Wolves. And apparently they're getting Batshuayi on loan as well. I think they'll do well enough. And this game
for me is nothing signing though.
No, but they need a striker. They do need a striker because they don't have one at the moment. Yeah.
So what's your prediction, Alfie?
They lost Kilman as well, didn't they?
1-1.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about Kilman.
I think didn't they? Oh no, I'm thinking of Burnley centre back.
Yeah.
Collins,
that's it. Sorry.
One more thing. Pedro Neto's back and he is terrific. He's an absolute world player. When he was actually fit, he was talked about in the same ranks as Bukayo Saka. So that tells you enough about him. He's a brilliant player.
Player that I would love at West Ham. I've got to be honest. Mitchell.
Portuguese speaking, he won't fucking come. I think 1-0 Wolves. I think it may take a while for the Leeds team to gel. They've really changed the entire team. I think the loss of Phillips and Rafinha is really going to make them struggle this season. They might have a good second half of the season, but I think they will struggle at the start, personally. As I say, I don't think the goals will come flying in the game for both sides for that reason, and that's why I think maybe Wolves might just. It could be a 0-0 actually, but I think 1-0. 1-0 Wolves. Fuck me. And I hope fucking Leeds have a shit season because they're also self-entitled fan base, just like Forest.
All right, we'll get to that shortly. Lucas.
I am gonna go. I'm gonna go 3-2 to Leeds.
Yes.
I don't know. I think Leeds
3-2.
Yeah.
Fuck him. What?
To be fair, that was the score last season.
He's
the
on.
last time they played.
He's on the Leeds train for a different reason. He's on it for the American
3-2.
dream.
He's on it.
The Americans all are going to score. Jesse Marsh is going to sub himself in and score the third for a winner. Leeds United States of America is going to be absolutely surfing to a mid-table finish.
Lucas, I've got to say this, yeah. On the space, there was an American on there, yeah. He's like a fanatic because Jesse Marsh is there. Like he's like their number one fans.
Oh dear.
I like Jesse Marsh. I think he's a good manager. I think Brendan Aronson is actually going to play decent in the Premier League. Tyler Adams. Actually, both of them have played Champions League.
Speaking about Rasmus Christensen, I tell you now, he's going to be unreal for them.
I don't know. I'm just. I mean, my score predictions are just bullshit anyway. So 3-2.
3-2.
MOT.
I agree with. I think Tom and Lucas have said it. I actually think that Leeds will destroy Wolves. I think Wolves are poor, mate, this year. I really do. Neto's a good player, but I think Leeds will come out all guns blazing.
I'm converting you all to Leeds. That's what we like
to
hear.
You're lit, Leeds scum.
They sing that themselves, though. That's the best thing about it.
But I'm going to say 3-1 Leeds. I think Leeds will go through Wolves, no problem. Moving on to
their
this
defense is so shit.
Sorry.
I had to go 3-2.
If Leeds score 3 goals against Wolves, I will fucking. I don't know. I'll do something on camera next time.
You do say it on the camera, then, mate. We'll leave it at that.
Outside of Bournemouth Stadium.
Right, moving on to Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest.
Up here.
Nottingham Forest is back in the Premier League. 20 years gone. Mitch, I'll start off with you, Mitch, on this one. Nottingham Forest.
Self-entitled fucking cunts. I thought, give them a chance and they come up. As soon as they come up, oh, we're fucking here to stay again. We're back in the Premier League. How many trophies have you won in your history? West Ham, fucking none. We got Lingard. We offered him 60 grand. You offered him 120 grand. He chose us over you. Fucking fuckers. And I cannot wait for the away game next week. Cannot fucking wait. Because there'll be nothing more I want for them to smash them fucking self-entitled fuckers next week. And I hope Newcastle do the same. As much as I hope hate Newcastle,
he just hates anyone that isn't West Ham.
No,
mate. To be fair, it's only Villa, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, Leeds,
Bournemouth,
United, Arsenal,
Bournemouth.
Fucking everyone.
I don't hate Bournemouth. I don't hate.
You just said you fucking despise Bournemouth.
No, they're just a tin pot club. Like they just Premier League. That's all. So I think Newcastle will win 2-1. That's my prediction.
West Ham Online.
I think this is a very, very good game. I don't know if it's on the telly, but if it is, I'm going to watch it. 3 o'clock.
Oh.
What a shocking showing from Sky and BT that is. But brilliant game, that one. I like Steve Cooper. I think he's a very good manager. I like the business they've done, despite the fact they've signed about 17 players.
Yeah.
And I like Eddie Howe as well. I think he's a very good manager, and I think he's adapted a lot since leaving Bournemouth. I think he's become better defensively. Obviously, he worked for a bit with Diego Simeone, which seems to have helped him. And I think for that reason, it's going to be a very, very tight game. 1-1 all over it. In fact, no, I've changed my mind. It's going to be 1-1 till the 89th minute. 90th minute, Lingard own goal. 2-1 Newcastle.
Fair enough.
I agree
Tom.
I'm not sure on Forest. They made a lot of signings, and the amount of times that teams that come up that make in excess of like 9-10 signings, it just never ever ends up going well for them. I just still remember Fulham the other year when they spent 120 million and they had one of the worst seasons in Premier League history. So I think Newcastle will win. I think it'll be 2-1 Newcastle. I hope Forest go down, just simply because I really wanted them back. But I will agree with Mitch that it just out of absolutely nowhere, it was just the self-entitlement of, oh, look at us, we've got 2 European Cups. And it's like, guys, you've literally not been in the Premier League for 23 years. Like, just take a back seat. We all know you've won your trophies in your history. It's, So yeah, I'm not so sure on Forest. I do think that Steve Cooper is a good manager, even if he does look like a fucking alien out of Doctor Who. But I reckon 2-1 Newcastle.
100% agree. 100% agree. Lucas.
1-0 to the Geordies. Forest, our 10-pot club.
Hang on.
Newcastle, I think they've got
Hang on the
enough.
money.
They got enough to win 1-0, and I'm telling you, if Newcastle get in a right winger to replace that absolute waste man, Miguel Almiron, they're going to be dangerous.
100% bang on the money.
Listen,
I will say I'm a bit shocked that I said this the other day. I think I'm shocked that Newcastle haven't spent as much money as that they have, because when we were going into this window, it was like I was more worried about what they were going to do money-wise to get them closer to us and some of the other teams. But I mean, they could still obviously sign Maddison, but even then, I still thought that they would have looked to spend big on a couple of more
Dan
players.
Burn or Bruno Guimaraes to absolutely put Lingard into the sideline.
It would be funny, I must admit. I am going to say 2-0 Newcastle. I'm with Lucas on this one. I think Newcastle last season were very good. Very, very good towards the back end of the season. They didn't really lose any games, from what I can remember. If they turn up at the start of the season fresh, then I think they go through Forest, no problem. So I'm going to say a 2-0. And I'm looking forward to seeing Mitchell at Forest away next week. I really can't wait. I want video footage.
And if you have Harry Arter in your midfield rotation, you're just bound to get relegated. So.
Fucking hell. By the way, can I make a quick prediction? I think Bruno Guimaraes is going to have an incredible season, and I think he will be one of the best midfielders in the Premier League this season. That is my prediction. Come back here in fucking 10 months. Tell me I was wrong.
We will. I'll be telling you.
I'll tell you right now.
You won't.
Wrong.
Next game up. Next game up is
I'll be getting
Spurs.
calls from Moyes saying, mate, come and scout for me, please. Now. And I'll be on the fucking way.
Please do, Mitch. Right, Spurs versus Southampton. Let's start off with Lucas on this one. What do you reckon?
The result isn't tough. I'm trying to think of a score line because, I mean, Southampton are going to be in a relegation fight, in my opinion, again. But I wouldn't be surprised if they have another horrible start and then they just kind of even things out at the end, which they seem to always do. But I'll be honest with you, I think Spurs are going to be really, really good this season, unfortunately. And I'm going to go 3-0. 3-0 Spurs.
I'll tell you what, I'll go next. I think this ain't as easy as we all think. They've got no Richarlison.
Who gives a fuck about him?
Right, they ain't going to start.
He's a sub player.
They've still got Son, still got Kane, still got Kulusevski, still got everybody else.
Yeah, I know, but I think this ain't going to be a walk in the park from now. I really don't.
Ugh.
I think Southampton actually beat them last year at White Hart Lane, so I do feel that they've got a bit of a thing when Southampton go to White Hart Lane. They always seem to do well.
Is Livramento back from injury?
I think so. I'm not too sure.
No, he's a while because
they're going to get absolutely
But
hanky-spanky.
I'm going to say this. I say it's not going to be easy, but I think Tottenham will win. So I'm going to say a 2-0. A 2-0 win. I think
talking rubbish, lad.
James.
You know what
I mean?
He's just said you're talking rubbish, lad.
Well, I might be. Mitch, next.
I agree. 4-0 Spurs.
4-0.
Not a chance, 4-0.
Oh my
Absolutely
god.
not.
I think they're laying a marker down. I've been saying it since the back end of last season. I honestly believe that Spurs will be in a title race until the last month and a half of the season.
Oh my god.
Oh.
I think they will.
I
think they will.
need to have a chat about this.
Listen. No. The reason being
Agreed.
is that Conte is a fantastic manager, and now he has made his signings. He's got his full first proper transfer window, and he's made his signings. The wing backs were a priority for him. He wanted players that could be, and Perisic was an absolute diamond for him at Inter. He's an incredibly good player. I think he'll have no issues adapting to the Premier League whatsoever. And I think that it's the perfect team for him at Spurs. I see him going until at least the last maybe month and a half of the season, and then I think that that Liverpool and City will obviously just go a little bit further, because obviously I know, as Hammer has just said, they will end up bottling it because that's just what Spurs do. But I think he's got the perfect team here to do at least some damage, and I think that they'll finish third this year, and I think they'll want to lay down a marker as well in the opening game, and I'll say 3-0 Spurs. I genuinely think that they are good enough. Out of they're the best of the rest, I think, this year. That's
Yeah.
and I know it's Spurs, but I think they're a different animal this year, genuinely.
I agree with Alfie. I think Alfie, take it away, Alfie. What you think, and then I'll come in after.
Spurs are going to prove that they're nowhere near as good as Arsenal. Nowhere near, not even close. I'm being dead serious.
Do you want to start up an Arsenal channel for yourself? Is this just?
I've got to
He loves
say,
Arteta.
as good as Conte is as a manager, as good as he is, and he's done a great job so far at Tottenham, in 2022 in the Premier League, his style is not what you need to be one of the best teams in the Premier
There's
League,
only
in my
one
opinion.
Mikel Arteta.
There's a lot of games last season. There's a lot of games last season, even when they beat Aston Villa 4-0, where at half-time they could have easily been 2 or 3-0 down. They don't have enough of the ball to be one of the dominant sides in the league. They're relying on their front three players being clinical. They're excellent off the ball, I accept that, but their style is nowhere near as good.
I mean, how much
Arsenal.
more clinical do you want? Kulusevski was probably the best
No,
player
but
after
it's not
January in the Prem.
sustainable.
Son, no, but the thing is, Son, Golden Boot last year. Harry Kane is probably, I would argue, the best number 9 or centre forward in football, simply because his passing ability as a forward, as well as his scoring ability, is just absolutely ridiculous. I don't see how, like, Spurs have now got strength and depth in all positions. Maybe centre
They
half
just
is
don't
an
have
issue
the
for him.
style.
But
Striker
I don't
they
think that
still don't.
matters. I don't think that matters, because
I do.
you could
Yeah,
say
but
that about.
But when you
Hang
say
on,
that,
hang on,
Tom,
hang on. Can I just say, you say that about the style, but he's carried that style wherever he's gone in his career. It's worked
Yeah,
at
but
Juve,
it's
it worked at
2022.
Inter, and he won the league with Chelsea in what, 2016, 17? He
Yeah, it was
turned
different
Victor
back
Moses
then.
into the.
There was no Man City then. There was no Man City.
Yeah, there was.
There-
City
there
won like
wasn't.
3 out of the 4
No,
titles.
no. There was no Pep Guardiola who controlled every facet of play. Jurgen
I think
Klopp's
no,
team
but
went
against
down.
those two, against City and Liverpool, I think they struggle. But I can't not see them dispatching most of the rest of the Prem at least once over the season.
Even
like I
the other
said, they're
day-
not going to go all the way. They're not going to win the title, but I can see them. I can see them going long enough into the season to make it a decent-ish title race. And it's
Yeah, but
not
I've
just
seen people saying that Tottenham are going to finish second, right? And I think that's madness. I really do. Absolute madness.
Even the other day, James. Even the other day, I say not to worry about pre-season, and I stick by that. They lost 1-0 to Roma the other day, and I saw Tottenham fans saying they haven't looked great in pre-season, and it doesn't shock me at all. They don't control enough of the game. They could easily lose 1-0 in the odd game, like they nearly did against Brentford. It won't be all sunflowers and daisies for Tottenham Hotspur. Mikel Arteta is going to blow them out of the water. Sorry, Tottenham. Enjoy fourth at best. 1-0 Tottenham, by the way.
Arsenal fan online.
1-0 Tottenham. Right, I'm going to say this about Tottenham quickly, yeah? Because I understand what Tom's saying and I understand what Alfie's saying. For me, they've always had a good team, Tottenham. Like, they've had good teams over the years. Like, this is not a team that's been shit. Kane and Son have been there for years. And everyone expects, because they've signed a few players, like, they're going to sort of go up to another level, like a Premier League challenging level.
But it's Conte. I do agree with Tom.
he's
Like
a
Conte,
superior
he's a
winner.
superb manager. He's very
He's
adaptive. and
outdated now, Mitch. He's
Yeah,
not the
but-
guy.
No,
I
he
dis-
just.
I don't know, mate. I don't
I
agree,
respect your
Alfie.
opinion so much, Alfie. Genuinely, in as much as half of the stuff you say analytically is correct, the stuff you say on stuff, but this one I cannot
Tom,
not
I love
see it.
Conte. I love Conte, but he can't win the Premier League. He can't get in the
I
top
didn't say
three.
they were going to win the
No,
Prem.
sorry. He can't get in the top 3 and he can't challenge in that way when he's relying on grinding out games 1-0. There's Mikel Arteta about, Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola.
I don't know whether he's trolling or not.
Guardiola.
Mikel Arteta
You
was
can't
like
say
Jurgen
Arteta
Klopp
like
and
that.
Pep.
Come on.
Listen, before we
I
move
think they're going
on,
to say top 4.
right?
I will say one thing about Southampton, though. I think that Joel Aribo would be a good signing for them.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. Listen, to say about Tottenham, well, I don't like to give Tottenham any praise, but that's just me. But we will move on from this because Tom looks like him and Alfie are about to have a war. So, yeah, move on to this one. Everton versus Chelsea. Now, Chelsea are a team that everyone thinks that ain't going to get finished in the top 4. So, Alfie, you can take this one away. What's your thinking?
What I will say about Chelsea, as bad as some of the things that's occurring there is, Raheem Sterling is an outstanding signing, one of the best signings in the window. He guarantees double figures, goals, and maybe even assists. He's brilliant one-on-one with his fullback. His positioning in the box is tremendous. He'll win them games single-handedly. I think Chelsea are probably on a similar level to Tottenham, in my opinion. Koulibaly's another good signing.
He's a good signing.
The thing that Chelsea are lacking is a number 9. Can Brozier be that number 9? I don't know. But what I do know is if Kai Havertz plays there, then I fear for Chelsea because I don't care what anyone says, the guy is not good enough. Everton aren't any better though. They don't have a striker. They won't have an Onana in for this game. And as good as the Goodison atmosphere is, they won't score the goals. I think they'll have a good opening 10, 15 minutes, but eventually Chelsea will win 2-0. Raheem Sterling at the double.
Let's get to his comment. Tom, top man, needs you more regularly on Hammer's chat, mate. Kev, I want him on here, mate. Stop trying to nick my guests. That's what I'm going to say. And let's move on to Tom. Tom, what do you reckon?
Yeah, Kev, I've done that enough. I did that for the first 6 years. I think I'm worn out regularly on Hammer's chat.
Another 6 more.
I agree in as much as I think Everton are. I don't think they're going to be very good this year. I think obviously I know there is somebody said football memes of the month. Calvert-Lewin is out injured for a little while. They're just. I don't think they've really improved, have they? Enough from what they had last year, and I don't think that. I think Frank will probably end up being sacked before or after Christmas. But I think the same thing for Tuchel. I just don't think Chelsea. I just don't. I don't.
Have you just seen the comment?
What?
Sorry, you can't get this up,
does it
Peter.
say?
That's fucking.
I can't see the comments for some reason.
That's cool.
Dominic Cavalier got injured doing a fashion show.
What did he do? Did he fall over in his heels or something?
Strangled by a fox around his head.
Yeah, I don't see Chelsea. I think they've made some good signings. I think Koulibaly is a fantastic signing. I think, yes, Raheem Sterling can beat his man and he is a problem, but I don't think he can finish his dinner. I'll never forgiven him after that World Cup game. I cannot forgive him.
Tom, he's not a good finisher, but he's the man for the big occasion, Raheem Sterling.
I don't know if he is.
I think he's the most criminally underrated forward in the world.
I say 2-1 Chelsea. I say 2-1 Chelsea, but I don't think Chelsea are going to be as good as what people think this year. I think again they're going to be. I think they're the ones that are going to be battling with Arsenal for 4th and 5th. I don't. But as Hammerhead said, I can't wait for us all to be so wrong. We'll come the end of the season. But yeah,
well, we might be right though.
I just don't think they're going to be as good as what everybody thinks they're going to be, unless they make some big moves before the end of the window. I know they've been linked today with Depay and Frankie and Fofana and Cucurella. Fair enough. If you get them signings in, then we can talk. But at the moment, I just don't see them being anything extra special than what they were last year. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I agree. I'll go next. I think the sign of Koulibaly is a good signing. And people go, oh, he's old, he's 32. They've got Thiago Silva who still does it in the Prem. So Koulibaly's a good centre half. If they do go and get the players that Tom just mentioned, I've also seen Aubameyang. Looks like he could be on his way back to London.
That would be awful.
Right. If it does happen, then as Alfie says, it could be awful, but it could be great. In this game,
it won't be great.
I'm going to say that Chelsea will nick this game probably 1-0. I think Chelsea might score early and then shut up shop and just get it done. So, 1-0 for me. Lucas?
2-0 to Chelsea. I think Chelsea are going to be quite decent again. Personally, Ben Chilwell's back, and I think he's an absolute baller. If they get Cucurella in, they could probably have one of the best defenses in the league and variety, in my opinion. the way they could set up shop. Raheem Sterling signing was decent. But I do feel the same as Alfie. I think Kai Havertz is not the solution at striker, but it did work a little bit last season. But there's no shot they can go the whole season with him as the number 9 and then Broja is the backup, because Timo Werner seems like he's on the way out back to Leipzig, which is absolutely hilarious. But yeah, 2-0. Everton are so shit. They're so bad. And don't get me wrong, I like Anthony Gordon, but the fact that he's the number 10, he's the one who's wearing the number 10 number is absolutely insane.
Can I say something quick?
Go on, mate.
Just a quick one. Everton fans, you're deluded, you're clueless, and I can't wait till you get relegated.
Fair enough, Alfie. Thanks for
But
your...
yeah, 2-0. And
2-0.
I echo Alfie's testament.
Mitch.
Except for my 2 mates that are Everton supporters. They're really nice. I love them. And they're realistic.
Mitchell.
I agree with Lucas. I think 2-0. 2-0 Chelsea. 2-0 Chelsea. I think Everton are going a really bad season. Personnel-wise, they're looking very poor in defence and attack. Midfield, they're looking all right, to be fair, but with the potential signings they could be bringing in. But their attack just looks really fucking shit. Without Calvert-Lewin for the first 6 weeks as well, they're really going to struggle.
And the fashion show could take another injury with them.
Or
with Tom Davies.
They could do Scouser's next top model. Like that starts in fucking start September.
Tom Davies and DCL.
He's got to get ready for that. Alan
Top
Mazeppa hosting.
One
And then also...
Come on, Mitch.
Alex Iwobi is brilliant.
Well, I'm not.
I did not rate him, and he's one
I
of the
think
only
Alex
opinions
Iwobi-
I've ever got wrong.
I'm not going to lie. I think Alex Iwobi is one of the worst footballers I've ever watched.
I think Iwobi was really shit, and then last season he completely proved me wrong.
The fact that he is
good season,
the fact that he is blood related to JJ Okocha makes me sick.
mate. Iwobi's quite good. I've got to say, Iwobi last season was fucking unreal.
You didn't watch him under Lampard, James. He was amazing.
It was unreal last season.
He was shit last year.
No, it was
It
the
doesn't
left side
matter.
of 8 is quality. It was the left
It
side of
doesn't,
8.
mate. Why does that matter?
Criminal, he is related to JJ Okocha. Unreal.
Iwobi was unreal last season. How can you say this? Like, it was unreal.
I've got to move on from that. That's just dumb.
No, and lastly, I fucking hope Everton go down. It's also self-entitled bastards as well.
Yeah.
And
Moving
there's
on.
gas.
Moving on to the Sunday games.
Scott's not English.
Is this one Leicester versus Brentford? Right
That's a
now,
tasty game.
I think Leicester are the dark horses to get relegated this year.
Have you spelled Leicester right? Have you spelled them wrong?
Yeah.
Have you spelled Leicester right, or am I bugging out?
No, he has.
That's
He has.
Leicester.
He has spelled it right. Yeah. Yes.
Right, so don't worry about my vocabulary, bro.
Your vocabulary.
Vocabulary. I don't know. I think Leicester in trouble this year, Alfie. I'm not gonna lie.
get relegated. Fuck you know. I don't know about that.
Mate, if they lose for far, they've not signed one
I've got
player.
to say something, James.
Right, let me say this.
Go
They've
on.
not signed one player all season. Madison looks like he wants out. Fofana looks like he's on his way out. Schmeichel's gone.
Yeah.
They're losing all their players. Even Vardy's been mentioned to go to Manchester United for crying out loud.
That's a load of crap.
Right? I think they're in trouble this year. If they don't go down, they're going to be fucking in the bottom half, 100%. And I've got a great bet for everyone.
I want to
10 to 11. William Hill, bottom half Leicester. That is a bet of the season.
Is Tielemans still looking like he's going?
He's still at the club at the moment.
He's still at the club at the moment.
He's still right.
He's
Okay.
going to go.
But I don't think he'll be there for long. He's got 1 year left. And so I done a space last night on all different Premier League people. And one of them turned around and said, as a Man United fan, said Leicester have got financial difficulties that no one really knows about. And that's why they're trying to balance the books by getting rid of their players. It does look at what they're doing. Like they're trying to get rid of all their best players. So this game for me,
They're not trying to get rid of their best players.
They are trying to get rid of their best players.
They're getting bids for their best players. Doesn't necessarily mean
Yeah,
they're
they've
trying to get rid of them.
rejected the bids so far.
Yeah, but they're rejecting the bids because they're trying to get the best money for their players, Mitch. 100%.
If they have to sell them, it's not set in stone. They have to sell them.
I think they will.
I reckon they're in the bottom 6.
Yeah,
No,
I agree.
Yeah,
no.
Brendan
You know what? It
Rodgers-
does
Brendan
depend on what
Rodgers-
happens.
Brendan
By the end
Rodgers.
of the
I'm
winter.
going to have a heart attack.
Brendan Rodgers will be the first manager. To be
If you
sacked.
say West Ham online, they finish in the top 10, then you are on severe crack.
Of course they do.
Leicester,
Of
Leicester,
course they're
four,
going to come top 10.
Nah,
Not a
Brendan
chance.
Rodgers
No,
will be
but
the
I've
first
got to say
manager.
something.
Leicester 14-1 to get relegated.
I'm on it.
Oh, I'm going to throw up.
First manager to get sacked.
14 to 1 ain't bad,
Rodgers.
actually, to be fair. That's not too
Oh,
Right.
bad.
my God.
Right,
Leicester
listen,
not going down.
listen. I know this is called like controversy, but I'm going to quickly go around to the score lines and we'll talk Leicester. Right, I'm going to say that Brentford beat them 2-1. That's the first thing, yeah? So I'm going for a Brentford win. Brentford are a good side away from home, counter-attacking. I think they win. Lucas, scoreline.
1-1. It's going to be a
Mitch?
shit fucking match.
I think 2-1 Leicester.
Tom,
Cheeky Desmond 2-2.
2-2. West Ham online.
I'm just going to do my score talk Leicester, then I've got to go football. But Leicester are going to win this game 2-1. But I've got some points to make about Leicester because I think I'm going to throw up live on air.
Go ahead.
Leicester City Football Club. 5th 2 years in a row. Won the FA Cup 2 years ago. Last year they were awful, yet came 8th. Leicester have an unbelievable squad. They've got some incredible players. Yes, okay, some of them could leave, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, as Moses said. Yuri Tielemans, outstanding midfielder. Wilfred
Moses
Ndidi.
parted the seas. He didn't cross a bridge.
Oh, well, he has. In my books, he has. Think of the players they've got. Yuri
They've got
Tielemans,
some excellent players still at the
Wilfred Ndidi, Wesley Fofana,
club.
Jamie Vardy, Harvey Barnes, James Maddison, Kelechi Iheanacho. This team
maybe
is
not.
brilliant. I think I've said it already. I don't think they're going to come above us, but I think they have a better starting 11 than us all day of the week.
Right.
I think
so
the only reason that they're not going to come above us is because I agree Brendan Rodgers is in a bit of
You
turmoil.
fucking wind-up
A
merchant.
couple of the players are unhappy, but they're no way going down. I don't think
You
they're
didn't mention
bottom
James
half.
Justin there either.
James Justin, outstanding. Only one who's
Pereira.
terrible
so
is
what,
Alfie,
So
did
where
you
they
send in
finish
your
on the
Premier
Pereira?
League predictions?
so
Yeah, they're
where are they
brilliant.
finishing?
8th.
Right.
James,
I
he's
will
on
say-
crack.
He's on crack, mate, honestly.
What?
I will have a side bet
What?
with you right now. Yeah, £100 side bet with you, Alfie, that Leicester finish in the bottom half this year. £100.
Deal, and I'm top half, yeah?
Yeah, you're top half, I'm bottom half.
And what was the
That
other
is-
£100 bet
James
we
is on
done
bottom.
quickly? What was the other
Mate,
£100
I'm
bet we done?
rolling it. Alfie's going to be bankrupt by the time he pays me out all his
No,
time.
but James, what was the other £100 bet we done? What was it again?
You had Arsenal to finish above Chelsea. I got Chelsea to finish above Arsenal. And
Oh, yeah.
I mean, one of you's going to be bankrupt.
Eddie Nketiah not to score 15 goals this season.
Oh, no, 14 goals it was.
Or 14 goals
Yeah.
this season in the
So
Premier
can
League
someone
only.
write all them down, please? Just so
I've got them
remember
all
them.
written down, Alfie, mate. I'm cashing in at the end of the year. 100%.
So what was
I
that
don't know.
one?
I do think Arsenal finished above Chelsea,
Leicester.
James.
I've got them written down, Alfie. I'm not going to discuss it live on air, but you have top half Leicester, I have bottom. You got to go.
Thank you. See you
No
later.
worries.
Laters.
Take care.
Later.
I think Leicester
Well,
finished 13th. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I think, was it 10 to 11 with William Hill to be in the bottom half? I think it's absolute gold, mate, if I'm being honest. I'm not gonna lie.
Gold.
100%.
I think they come in between 12th and 15th.
Yeah.
I can't see it. I can't see
Yeah.
it.
Moving on to this.
It depends. It still does depend on like the window. If they don't sell anyone, then I think they could possibly be with a top half finish.
The problem is, though, Mitch, you keep saying if they don't sell anyone, they want to sell people. That's the problem.
They don't want to sell people though.
Yeah, but what it is, they're not. When you say that, they're being forced to sell people because I think they're in financial difficulty, mate. They haven't signed one player.
Fair play, but we'll see. If they sold, I know sold Schmeichel.
Listen, if
peanuts.
Say real quick, Madison, Tielemans, and Fofana go. I'm sorry, I respect Alfie, but they're literally going to have to run a midfield three.
That is if
of Drewsbury Hall, which I do like.
He was class last year.
Wilfred Ndidi and Cordry or Mendy,
Cowdrey.
or Iosi Perez in the hole.
In the
Yeah.
hole.
It's not gonna happen.
Oh.
Let's forget about Leicester. Let's think about Manchester United, probably the most toxic club at the minute. I'll start off with Tom. Tom, what do you reckon on this one?
I think they'll be better off this year, simply for the fact that I think you've actually got a manager who knows what he wants. Seen some of the videos from pre-season. I know you can't judge anything on that, but I think he's trying to at least implement a style with them that he had at Ajax. His way of playing football, which is, I think, will be beneficial to United. I think they've got rid of probably 3 of the worst eggs, it seems, in their dressing room, in Pogba, Lingard and Dean Henderson out of nowhere, who I do feel sorry for. But his interview was a bit like, wow, okay.
I don't think he chose to go back to United, though.
Yeah, he did.
Legendary interview. Good on Dean.
So, yeah, I think they'll be all right. I can't see him getting into the Champions League. Obviously, don't know what's going to happen with Ronaldo. But I still think that they're crying out for like a Declan Rice or somebody like that in their team, as well as some more attacking players. Sancho's been really good for them in pre-season. He's looked like a different player, maybe because the change of system or whatever Ten Hag likes to run is benefiting him more. But I think they'll win against
and
Brighton.
Martial just picked up a hamstring injury. He's going to be out for a while.
He did. I think they'll win 2-1, but I'm not convinced they're going to get top 4. I think maybe 5th or 6th for United this year. But I do think they'll be a lot better off.
Mitchell.
I think 1-0 United. Another scummier fucking club. Really hope Ten Hag
Are they the worst
crash
fan
and
base
burns.
for you? Are they the worst fan base for you, Mitch?
Without a shadow of doubt. Without a shadow of doubt. Disgusting. Fucking abuse their players to smithereens. Every single one of them. Racism galore. They're just a fucking disgusting. Well, not every single one, obviously, but there's so many disgusting fans at United. Yeah. Fucking wankers. And I really hope Ten Hag crash and burns. And I hope Ronaldo scores an own goal on purpose. And that says, that's what you get if you don't let me leave. And smile.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And it does a sue as well.
Lucas.
Yeah, I mean, I am in full agreement with Mitch. I'm going to go 2-1, VAR penalty right at the very end for United, and they're going to bag it and win the match. But, yeah, horrible fan base, horrible support. Them and Arsenal usually flip-flop for me, personally, but
poor transfer window as well.
And I'll be honest, one of my best mates is a United supporter, and I love him to bits. That's my brother. But I cannot see in any world how United finish 4th. There's just no shot. There's no way, because Ten Hag is. Everyone raves about Ten Hag, but you just can't. The two
I
players
can't see
he
it
wants,
either.
the 2 players he
can't
wants
see
the
it.
most are coming from the Dutch league to the Premier League, and they're acting like that's not a big step, which is hilarious. But
Yeah.
and even if they
Very true.
And even if they do get Frankie de Jong, they have one of the worst, not player wise, but like chemistry and play style, one of the worst midfields in all of the Premier League.
100%.
If after this match, actually, even for this match, a midfield 3 of Bruno, Eriksson, and Fred or McTominay is going to be one of the most dreadful midfields in the Premier League.
I think it's going to be the most creative midfield, but it's going to be the most midfield that's going to get
creative in how they're going to get absolutely fucking torched.
I think Brighton have got a good midfield nowadays. They've got some good powerhouses in there. That fucking Mwepu, I think his name is. He's a good player.
There's just no shot. And United supporters keep saying that like their goal and what their expectation is to finish 4th. There's absolutely no shot.
Yeah,
0 chance.
Unless they sign De Jong and another striker.
Even if they sign De Jong, like they need a defensive midfielder. That's what.
Well,
they
you
need.
wait. You let's wait to get to my prediction. Well, I think Man United win this game. I will say that. I'm going to say 2-0. Right, but I don't think Manchester United finish in the top 6.
1
I really
hog,
don't.
2 hog, 3 hog.
I really don't. I think that is right. I think if West Ham can sign the players and get the players in that we need, I think that top 6 is open. Right? I think Manchester United at the minute are in a position where it's very toxic at that club. Right, with the whole Ronaldo thing, they've got no centre forward really. Martial's out. They're relying on players that really didn't do them any good last year. So I feel that 6 is open. And I
It
think
is
Manchester
open,
United,
but I would just never bet for us to finish above them because I do believe in corruption. So
yeah, that is one thing I will say on that. You're right. But I do think that, though. Let's get down to the final game of the weekend. It's our game. West Ham United versus Manchester City. Lucas. Right, we are back, Ralph. We're back in the Premier League. Everyone's thoughts on this?
I really don't know what to think because there's a lot of like news coming out every day about us, Man City. Like every single day, it seems like Bernardo Silva is about to be on the move. So could that become a thing where he sits out on Sunday because he's about to get transferred, and obviously they don't want him to get hurt? I keep seeing this bullshit Aguero news that he's going to be not in the lineup, but like in the team for Sunday. And you know who you are who put that out. That's bullshit, and I hate you.
Sean Whetstone.
You're attacking.
I don't know.
You.
I think depending on the Silva situation, and people gotta remember, Man City's only played 2 preseason matches. Foden is a little bit banged up. He's not 100%. But I'll just say this. If Man City roll out a midfield 3 of Calvin Phillips, Rodri, and Foden, I think there's a chance at a draw. But I'm not gonna expect us to win, obviously. If I had to predict, I'd go 2-1. 2-1 City.
2-1 City. Mitchell, you're going to be there Sunday. Thoughts?
He's excited.
I'm very excited. I just can't see us winning. I think City just. If we get a draw, I will be absolutely.
Oh yeah, and we're forgetting Mike Dean.
Yeah, I know. I
other
thought that bastard had retired, but no, he's in the VAR room most of the year.
I know what a cunt. I hope like some ex-player comes back and just goes in the VAR room and just
puts Mike Dean
something like a hold and just goes whispers in his ear, goes fucking give it to my stand. What's your life? Like I don't know, Andy Carroll or Collins or something like that.
Oh, it's the double duo of Mike Dean, VAR, Michael Oliver on the pitch.
Yeah, that's just written in the stars. It's going to be a penalty to City, which is minimal contact on Grealish. He just dives. I reckon 2-1 City. That's my prediction.
He just flies into the stands.
2-1 City. Tom.
I know I said I didn't watch the Lons pre-season game the other day. I did watch the Community Shield. I was disappointed in City. I can't lie. I think Liverpool put down a statement, and I think they bopped them off the park for 75 minutes. The only bright spot that they had was when Julian Alvarez came off the bench. And he looked like he actually wanted to run at Liverpool's back line, and he caused them some problems. I thought
he's good.
I thought Grealish was really just not on the same wavelength as Haaland. Haaland wasn't on the same wavelength either. But I'm not necessarily worried about Haaland because if Haaland will just do what Haaland does, I'm not really bothered about that so much. But I'll tell you honestly, I've said it on Twitter the last couple of weeks. I genuinely believe that Julian Alvarez will be the better signing overall for Man City than Haaland. He just looks like Aguero 2.0.
Quick question: how many goals do you reckon Haaland scores in the Premier League this season?
I've got to go, boys. Sorry,
I said 18.
See you later.
See you later, man.
Yeah, I say 20. I think Liverpool really put down a marker against them the other day, and I just don't think that. I think it shocked me how much they just didn't look like City, and I know at the end of the day that it is a glorified pre-season friendly, but I was shocked at the intensity that Liverpool played at, and I think genuinely I believe it was Liverpool saying like, "Look, we're right up for this." And I think Pep at times he looked a bit clueless. He was sort of scratching his head over there on the side. Yes, they did look a little bit better, as I said, when sort of Gundogan came on, and Grealish and Mahrez went off. But I don't know. It's either going to go one or two ways for us. It's either going to be we're going to get absolutely battered because he saw that game against Liverpool and he wanted a reaction out of it, or it's the best time to play Man City. My head's leaning, I'm going to say optimistically 2-2. But I think, as I said, I think it's the best time to play City. I don't think Pep quite knows his best starting 11. Obviously, he's had a lot of people that have left. He's not exactly got some more signings that, he wants some extra signings and stuff. I'm not sure where sort of Phillips fits into that team, etc. But yeah, as I said, I think they look really dangerous when Julian Alvarez came on. And I think if I was City, I would be starting Alvarez, Haaland, and probably Mahrez against us. And I think then they'd probably maybe cause a little bit of problems for us. But I'm going to say 2-2. I'm being optimistic. If this was, I said this yesterday because I was doing the Hams Chat Patreon podcast because Charlie's away on holiday, so I was hosting it. But I said yesterday, if this was the Man City that we're playing mid-season and they're in full flow and they're, Pep's got them drilled at that point, I think we would probably lose comfortably.
Agreed.
And I know we've lost on opening day the last few times we've played Liverpool and City, etc. But I don't know. There was just something I saw in that City team the other day that Pep just did not look happy with. And I think it's a good time to play him. I really do. But I'll say 2-2. I think Haaland scores. And I think maybe Antonio will score. He does like playing against City. I think we'll give him a good game. But yeah, I'm going to say 2-2. But I think it could be Liverpool's year this year. I really do. I think they may win the title.
We will talk about the Premier League before we wrap up. For me, this game, I think if West Ham turn up and are severely on the game, I think West Ham can get a draw at this game. I really do believe that. Manchester City defensively last week, I agree with Tom. They were all over the place defensively. If Antonio is on it and fully fit, raring to go, we've got a chance.
They did start with Ake and Diaz, and I think Stones is going to be a late fitness test for them. So I know that they're obviously defensively the best probably pairing is Laporte and Diaz or Laporte and Stones. So I don't know where Laporte was. I don't know if he's injured or not. But
he's injured. He's out for a few months, mate.
Right. So if it is Ake again, I think that's probably the best time to play him if Stones is a little bit lacking in fitness. It's up to Antonio just to. Let's ignore what you've done in pre-season and just absolutely tear and be a menace.
Just beat up on them.
Yeah, exactly. Even if you don't score, we said it last year in the games like Lyon last year, even if you don't score, impact the game in other ways and just make it as tough as possible for their defence. Run them ragged for 90 minutes. That's all we can ask of him. And hopefully, if we're not to believe Claret and Hugh saying that Scamacca isn't going to take part in Sunday, then, go out and have a point to prove, Antonio.
Yeah, he's gonna have to have a point to prove. I agree with you on that. So, to round it up from me, I think, a draw. I think the home fans will be up for it. It's a big game. If West Ham get anything out of this game, it's a bonus. If we start off well this season, then something special could happen. I keep saying it every year since I've been doing the YouTube, and I do believe it. So yeah, we can get a draw, and I agree with Tom 100%. Let's talk Premier League now, right? I'm going to ask you. Because I've got two left out of the other two. The other two have gone football. I know Mitchell's up to something on a Thursday night, but I will figure it out.
I may have to go in a sec because I've got to go to dinner from me and Bex.
Right. Relegation, Tom. 3 teams.
Fulham, just get them gone. I just despise them because they're just a yo-yo club and I just think it's pointless. I made some decent signings, but again, I don't see that they've strengthened enough to stay up. I think... In my head, there's 3 teams I've got left. Bournemouth, Forest, and Everton. I think Forest will be fine. I think they'll be fine but I think Everton, unless they make some signings between even now and the end of August, or they get their shit together and they make some signings in January, they just have not improved and they've lost their best player in Richarlison. I think as much as Bournemouth, I disagreed with what obviously Alfie said. He doesn't like Parker as a manager, but I think he at least got them playing attractive football last year. And I know that's the Championship, but how well is that going to sort of translate into the Premier League? I don't know, but I think for me, I've struggled seeing it being anybody other than Bournemouth, Everton, and Fulham at the moment. But I think maybe the other teams that will be close to that will be the likes of Forest and stuff. But I think those three are probably everybody's favourites, or those four will be everybody's favourites for a relegation scrap. And I think, as I said, the likes of like Southampton, maybe Leicester get pulled into it, depending on what happens between now and the end of the season for them. Leeds, depending on how that works out, everybody betting in for them. You know, there's a few other teams, but I think the main three will be those three that I've said.
Yeah, I agree. Lucas.
There's five clubs in my head that I think are either nailed on or a very good chance they're going to get relegated. Fulham and Bournemouth I would say Bournemouth is nailed on for me 1,000%.
Yeah.
They're just shit. They don't have the players. I do like Scott Parker as a manager and a man, of course. What a man. But he's getting relegated. Fulham, actually no, I'm putting them nailed on. Their defense is shit. Their midfield is not very good. Their attack is okay. I rate Harry Wilson. I think he's a good player. And then it's between Everton and Southampton for me. Southampton, they're just consistently on the ropes of just like teeter-tottering, abysmal, or like just mediocre. And Everton, with the financial situation, I just do not see any hope. There's no shot Anthony Gordon wills them to stay up. So I'm going to go Bournemouth, Fulham, and Everton. I just think Everton their time is done unless they get some sort of finances. That stadium move could have possibly got them relegated, which would make me sick if that ever happened to West Ham.
I agree. For me, I'm going to say Bournemouth. I think it's a nailed-on one. I agree with both of you. Then the other lot is interesting for me. Like Fulham, Forest, you got Brentford in there, Everton, Southampton, Leicester.
If Brentford didn't sign Damsgaard from Sampdoria or whatever, I think the club is called, they would be in the pit. They'd probably be in my relegation, but he's going to have Christian Eriksen effect, in my opinion. Like, I'm not saying he's as good, but what he offers is
I agree.
Amazing.
For me, Bournemouth, I think Leicester are in trouble, mate. I really do. Listen, I know we don't disagree, but I think Leicester could drop like a stone this year. They start selling players. They haven't signed one player in the summer, so that to me says it all. So I think they're in trouble. So I'm going to say Bournemouth. I think Fulham will go because they're just not good enough. And I'm actually going to say either Southampton or Leicester. I think Leicester could struggle this year. They do lose their players and they don't bring no one in. They're going to be in a relegation battle.
I would have to agree. If they lose Fofana, Madison, and Tielemans, I don't think it's a wild shout to say that a relegation battle could ensue.
The only thing I would say in terms of Fulham is that the beneficial thing for them is that they've got Marco Silva in. And last time he was in the Prem with a lesser team in Hull, he was actually incredibly difficult to beat. I think he had like one of the best sort of defensive, or not defensive, but like home records in the Premier League about 5-6 years ago. So it'd be interesting to see how, because at the end of the day, he was sort of shafted a bit with how bad he was at Everton, and he made some bad decisions with Watford and stuff. But I still think at the end of it, he proved in that first season with Hull that he was a decent manager. So it'd be interesting to see if he can sort of try to make Fulham tough to beat like he did his Hull side. And I think if he can do that, then they've got a chance, because obviously the last few times that Fulham have been in the Prem, they've just conceded so many goals, and especially at home, they've been shocking. But if you can get anything out of them like he did when he was first in the Prem with Hull a couple of years ago, I think they could. I'm not saying they'd be safe, but they'd have a better chance of survival than they've had in the last few years. Excuse me.
Yeah, I agree. Right, one team. Who's winning the league? Tom?
Liverpool. I think it's Liverpool's year. I do. I think I like the signings that Man City made, but for me, I think I know Pep says that the Prem is always going to be like the priority, but for me, I think they've got to try and win the Champions League this year. I think he needs it for not necessarily his legacy, but I think his legacy at City will be whether or not they can win the Champions League. And I think if he doesn't, it will be a disaster for him if he can't do that whilst he's at City. So for me, I think again it will be run close and it will come down to the last couple of games here or there of the season. But I think he more than anything this year will want to win the Champions League. And I think Liverpool, I really like the signings that they've made. I think people are going to. I think they've written off that Nunez far too easily because from what I saw, even if it was a snapshot of 35, 40 minutes against City at the weekend, he looked a real handful, and they did not look like they missed Mane at all. So yeah, it will be close, but I think it may be Liverpool's to win this year.
Lucas,
City, midfield depth is best in the world, insane. Liverpool, their midfield, very overrated in my opinion. Don't think it's that great, and their depth, it's just not the greatest in my opinion. With City, you have Rodri, Phillips, Bernardo Silva, still possibly Kevin De Bruyne, and then if you just compare that to Jordan Henderson, Thiago, who's inconsistent in my opinion. Jordan Henderson, he's okay. Curtis Jones is about to be out for a month or two. Nagby, he's okay. Who's the other one I'm missing? Oh, Fabinho. He's decent.
I love you, but I disagree on that. I think Thiago absolutely ran the show. He runs in the biggest moments. He runs the show for Liverpool.
And then Liverpool's defense is both their defenses are on par. I think Liverpool have the better goalkeeper. And they do probably have the better attack, but for me, the midfield wins and loses you games. Yeah. And Man City just have a far superior midfield, in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree with someone this one. I think what I see at Liverpool the other day, I look at their team, and they've got an hard-working team. They've sorted their striker out now. If Nunez hits the ground running, which I believe he does, and I do agree with someone that he's been massively underappreciated sort of thing, like by people, and people are all on Haaland and not on Nunez. I think they're going to be rudely awakened. I think Nunez, if he hits the ground running, I think Liverpool could be a train this year. I agree with another thing with Tom. Champions League is Manchester City's thing this year. So I do believe Liverpool can do it. Do you know what I mean? I've seen people say about Tottenham finishing second above Liverpool, which I think is laughable. I really do. So I'm going to make that short and sweet. And finally, this is the final question of the night. Where are West Ham finishing, Tom?
No, I'm going to be optimistic, aren't I? And then we'll have to do one of these videos in January and then go, I don't think we're going to finish higher than 9th. From what we've done business-wise in the transfer window, the fact that we've kept hold of Rice, fingers crossed they're going on as a month, but it's not likely he's going anywhere. I'm gonna say 7th. If we sign a left back, I think the strength is maybe there. Again, we've lost Masuaku and Diop potentially out the door, so the depth-wise is still not 100% there, but I think we've improved our starting 11 in a few positions. I know, obviously, it's a really crappy deal, the fact that Aguerd's out. Obviously, for the opposition fans that haven't seen him in pre-season, he looked incredible. Absolutely just from nowhere, mustard. This kid, he just looks, mustard. So I think we've improved in as much as Aguerd and Scamacca, they start if they're there. But I think if you can get a really good left back in, and I know it's going to be difficult now, but if you can somehow get a better starter than Cresswell, I fancy us to finish 7th. I do. But it remains to be seen. We could have a really crap season. But listen, after the last couple of years that we've had under Moyes, I can't not be confident that that's where we're going to try and end back up again this year, because I think he's done a fabulous job with us. And the fact that we've kept hold of our best players in Bowen and Rice for another year, I think that's going to obviously make a
agree.
huge difference for us. So, yeah, I think 7th, but at worst maybe 8th. I don't see anything lower than that.
I'll go next. I think at the minute, with the signs we've made, it's 7th. I think I agree with Tom. Left back, we get centre half in, and we get a central midfielder. So that's 3 more players. I think if we get 3 more players in of quality, I think 6 is up for grabs. I really, really do. I think we can get 6. I'm not convinced on Manchester United. I really am not. Everyone says the Ten Hag ball and all that. It don't work in the Prem. I've seen many great managers come to this league and get absolutely ruined. So I think we're 3 players away from competing for top 6. So I'm going to say 7th, between 7th and 8th, I think. Also, it depends on the Conference League, but I'll be honest, 3 players, I think we can do top 6 all day long. Lucas.
I will say as well quickly before Lucas jumps in, I think we've actually got a chance of winning the Conference League this year. Genuinely, yeah. I think I really want us to win it, and it will be difficult in the knockout rounds if we do get even past Vibal, which obviously I think we will. But I think I was speaking about it with Gio the other day, and I think that is potentially, if the season's not going great, that is going to be our best bet of getting back in for Europa League as well. So, but I think we got a good chance if we make those 2 to 3 extra signings. I'd fancy us to win that competition. I really would.
Yeah. Jack says here, yeah. How long is the Moroccan lad out for? Between
4 to 12,
12 weeks,
but I don't think it's going to be 12. I think it will be like 6, 7.
It's a pretty nasty injury.
I reckon 6 to 8 myself. Lucas, final thought with you, son. West Ham, where are we finishing?
A lot of dependencies on the position. My heart says 6th. My brain says 8th. So I'll probably meet in the middle at 7th. But I really do think we could grab 6th if we sign some good players. And I'll be honest with you, even if we get just a backup left back of just a body, even if it is Luke Thomas, who I don't think Luke Thomas is that bad. It just depends on the price. Like, yeah. I'm not paying 20 million for Luke Thomas. That's abysmal in my opinion. But 15, 10, I think 10 would be like kind of a good deal. 15, I think is fair. If we were to sign another quality central midfielder of the box-to-box variety, I think we'd be in really good hands. And we do probably need another center half just in case of injury. If we were to get a left back, someone better than Flynn Downs and Connor Coventry in midfield, and then another center half, the ability of like Craig Dawson, like a no-nonsense defender that will just come in. I really do think 6th we can finish because, again, I'm not convinced by Manchester United. You're asking a bunch of 2 Dutch players who are highly rated to come in and make an effect in the Premier League, a Dutch coach coming in to coach in the best league in the world, where his style of play I do rate and I do think it's effective, but the Premier League is a whole different type of animal. And yeah, if I had to put my money on it, I'd probably say 8th, but because I'm in between my head and my heart, I will go 7th.
But I will say as well, don't forget, even if we do make maybe 2-3 more permanent signs, we still have those 2 loan deals available for us as well, which could be massive. As long as we do bring in somebody that's not going to do another Alex Crowell, the loan market can always be utilised well as well.
And I will say this: if Manchester United do not get Frenkie de Jong, in which I don't think they will, I think we will finish 6th.
Fair enough.
Which I hate saying, but I hate saying that because if I were to put my money on it, I'd put us 7th. Like, I would never put money on us to finish above them. But like when you're breaking down the players, the clubs, tactics, and all the players between both squads, I just don't see why our best 11 against their best 11 we wouldn't do better than them.
Yeah, I agree.
They do have good depth, though, I will say.
And that is it from this edition on the 20 Zone TV. All the boys have been and gone. Like Mitchell's here earlier, West Ham Online here, and Tom and Lucas are the last remaining pair. Listen, please do smash a like on the video and please do subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. The Premier League is back. And I'll tell you what, I can't wait. Whatever
And
happens
hopefully we get some Cornet news tomorrow or an announcement along with the third kit. Happy days.
and we are good to go. Anyway, enjoy your, what day is it today? Thursday. I'm forgetting the days. Weekend's nearly upon us. Anyway, from me to you, I'll see you again. Bye.
There it is. I've never found a love like this.